Oh, what's up, guys? It's Claudia Monster here, and I'm doing another review video for the tester for episode 4. It is called Creative Crossover. Obviously, the episode was based off of the upcoming game to be released, Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Once again, if you have not watched episode 4, please do not watch this review as it will be a spoiler. And also, if you are thinking about not watching it because Ego Raptor is not on the show, I will tell you right now, Adrian Curry looks extra beautiful and sexy in this episode. So if you aren't watching for Ego, you should watch to see her beautiful face. Also, Brent Goki decided to challenge me, and basically said, hey, I want you to try to not curse in your next review video. So I said, challenge accepted. I will do it. So, this is definitely going to be a lot harder for me to do because I definitely need to think about what's going to come out of my mouth before I say it. And I'm going to seem a little bit out of my element because I am. Achilles also thinks that I can't do this challenge. So to prove those two boys wrong, I will do it. Anyway, on with the review. In the very beginning of the episode, obviously they go through, what happened last week, and then, you see us after elimination, and Christy comments about, there was a surprise elimination, like, we have to step it up. And that is definitely what I was thinking, after Bird and Ego went the last episode, I was like, oh my god, like, if they sense any, if you mess up at all, they don't have to be on a guideline like, oh, we can only eliminate one person. Like, if you mess up, they do have the power to eliminate you, even if they don't tell you that they're going to eliminate 2 people. I mean, that's the power they have. So I was like, okay, like, I really need to step it up. Well, of course Meredith comes in and she's like, oh, okay, well, here are your teams. First of all, I was super excited that I was on a team with Sky Diddy, Achilles, and Ninja. Me and Ninja were cigarette smoke break buddies, so I hung out with him a lot. Just one-on-one, really got to know him, and he's really, really, really a cool guy. And then there's Achilles who, I think he's like the most mature out of all of us in the group, but he still is really, really fun, and he knows, when to work and when to play. And then, of course, there's Diddy. He's like my goof-off buddy. We both are very animated, and, sometimes he doesn't make sense because he's just so excited about stuff. We actually have like a little inside joke. We say tongue twister, black bugs bleed blue blood, and that's for whenever Diddy just gets so excited and really doesn't make sense. We just say black blood, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I was just, like, really excited to have them on my team, and I was even more excited to not have Suskaiden on my team. Because, I mean, if you haven't noticed yet, I've never been on a team with Suskaiden. I would probably end up sabotaging the team just so Suskaiden could be possibly eliminated. Anyway, so when Meredith says that only the leader of the winning team is immune, I kind of started to freak out a little bit because I was, I guess you could say I performed low in the first episode, and then, I have been on the winning team every episode after that, but I feel like I didn't really shine through to the panelists. I didn't really do anything important or, really, crucial for the team's success. So I was thinking maybe the panel was starting to notice that, and that is why they decided, only the leader would be immune. And then when she announces the Street Fighter Cross Tekken, I'm like, great. Like, we're now realizing we need to step it up. And, of course, it's going to be a challenge about a game, like a game genre that I do not care about at all. If there was one type of game I hate. It is fighting games. Hate them. And when she announced it, if you see my face, I'm obviously like, oh, Street Fighter Cross Tekken. But, we did get to see it. It did look really cool. It did look really, really nice. If you do like fighting games, like, you should definitely go out and get Street Fighter Cross Tekken. It looked awesome. But I was definitely confident with Diddy being our team leader, because not just because he gets along with everybody, but, he has shown that he's able to get the job done. So when she's like, okay, you guys have to fight each other, I was confident that Diddy was going to beat J-Tight, especially after the first fight, because it was a 2 out of 3. I thought Diddy was definitely going to win. But then, like I said in the episode, something just clicked in J-Tight's brain. Like, I don't know what happened, but he just murdered Diddy in the next 2 rounds. And I was like, oh, great. Like, I'm already nervous as it is because it's, Street Fighter Cross Tekken Challenge. And then, we didn't get the advantage. But it was intense watching them fight. And, just when Suskaiden was like screaming when they were fighting, I was just like, really? Like, it's pretty intense, but you don't need to be screaming and jumping up and down. It was just so obnoxious. But I did like how Diddy and J-Tight like did their little dance at the end, because it shows that at the end of the day, like, we're still gonna be friends, and it shows good sportsmanship. So I really, really enjoyed that. So when we went outside and we saw the Wushu Masters, I was like, because because I can't control my limbs. That's why I don't do sports. That's why I don't dance. I can move my thumbs and these fingers. But that's it. And that's because I can't control myself. I think I'm moving one way, and then when I actually see it happening, I'm like, oh my god, that's not at all what that's supposed to look like. So they're like, oh, you have to choreograph a fight scene, and I was like, oh my god, like, this is gonna be horrible. But then they were like, okay, but you need to, like, create new fighting characters. I was like, holy crap. Crap's not a cuss word. Okay, because that's what I want to do in the industry. I have 2 passions, which are writing and video games, and I'm sorry if you disagree with me, but I believe that the most important thing in a video game is the story and the characters and the environment. Because, I mean, if you look back at games that were made in, like, the 80s, 90s, where the technology, for the graphics and the sound wasn't that great, like, I totally appreciate 8-bit music and 8-bit graphics. I mean, if you just look at, for instance, like, The Legend of Zelda, it has an amazing story to it and amazing backstories for all the characters, and that's what makes it a really good, a really classic, really awesome game. The graphics aren't necessarily great. I mean, they're actually, like, pretty horrible if you, like, see the graphics that we have now. We can have 3D games now. But it's the story and the characters that really make the game. And so, I think I'm, like, dying. I'm dying. This is my last video because I'm dying. Knock on wood. Okay. But, so what was I talking about? Right. So that's what I want to do in the industry. So I'm like, this is really going to show what I can bring to Sony. So I'm, like, really excited about it. At the same time, I'm like, I really, really hate fighting games. Of all the times where we get to create our own character, it's in a fighting game. And I'm, like, kind of mad about it, but I'm like, alright, whatever. Like, I gotta do what I gotta do. So, reading through my notes, I have this, like, it's like a freaking 3-page paper. Somebody's calling me. Okay, anyway. Oh, yeah, okay. And then when Suskaiden's like, oh my god, it came. And they're like, oh, Seth Killian, like, Suskaiden said she came. I thought it was so priceless. Everybody's faces, they were just like... And then, when they announced that you're gonna get Street Fighter Cross Tekken and the, Mad Catz Fight Stick Pro, when she started screaming again, it's like, the screaming, really? The screaming, totally unnecessary. So, I was really glad when J-Type picked doing choreography before wardrobe because honestly, if I would have had to have done the choreography first, I would have no idea what kind of fighting style I would need because I don't know what character I'm gonna have yet. So I was really glad that we got to do wardrobe and characters at first, and immediately Achilles and Ninja and Diddy have an idea for a character. And honestly, the whole time I'm thinking like, I really hate fighting games so much. So I'm just thinking like they're so annoying. Like fighting games are so annoying. All it is like kick, 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 and then it's always like yeah, like just looping of like sound effects. And I just thought like how annoying. So when we're picking out clothes, I'm basically just like picking up the most random articles of clothing that I think I would look cute in. And also kind of hoarding some of the other stuff, so the other team didn't really have like that many good choices. Uh, Sorry, Christy. And then we go to the back with all of our clothes, and we're starting to talk about what our different characters are, and I'm like, wait a minute, like I don't want to be the stereotypical like Asian girl character, like Chun-Li, like oh. So I was totally blanking out, just really thinking like this is gonna be the end for me. Like I can't think of anything, and then it hit me. Like, I think fighting games are really annoying, so why don't I come up with a really annoying character? And what is more annoying than a bratty kid? Like, when you see a kid at Walmart, like, throwing themselves on the floor because they can't get that candy or that toy, like, don't you just want to drop kick them in the face? It's exactly what I was going for. Super bratty kid. But then I was kind of, like, unsure about it, because I'm like, I want to do something new, something different. Like, you never really see kids in fighting games. It's usually, like, you got the muscular guy, or like, you got like E Honda, the big old like, sumo wrestler, or you've got like, the prostitute looking Asian woman, or just any woman, but dressing like a prostitute. So I wanted to do something totally different, and I was really unsure about it, but this is again why I was so glad I was on this team, because they were so supportive. And so encouraging of the character that I was trying to develop. So that really just helped me to be really confident that I made a good character. When I was watching Suskaiden, when they were outside doing the choreography and stuff, I felt like she did take over a little bit. But again, like I've said before, and how everyone can see is Suskaiden has a passion for acting. And she has a passion for being, on stage. So this challenge was perfect for her. So I can see why she would, want to, take on a leadership role in this challenge. When we were outside practicing, we were practicing all the moves. They were like, these are the correct ways to do it so you don't hurt yourself. Well, every time I would try something, I would hurt myself. I like rolled over my neck. Like you're supposed to like, kind of do like the worm. I can't even do it with my hand. Like do the worm, or like, you sort of cushion yourself when you fall. Nope. Just totally ate it every time. But it was okay because we practiced our choreo. I think we did a really really good job. I thought it was funny that Ninja totally he totally almost just whacks me in the face, like, with his fist. And that shows you how slow of reaction time I have as well, because he was like, and I was like, huh? And I almost got hit. But, the Wushu Masters really did help, too, us. They helped us develop our fighting characters, because at first they were like, oh, this is the tiger, and this is, like, like your typical, I guess you would say, like, Asian martial arts, fighting styles or whatever, and I'm like, well, I'm just this little bratty kid who beats up kids for, their pudding cups and their candy because I'm such a brat. And they're like, oh, well, why don't you try to do, something that's a little cutesy, and he showed me some moves, and I'm like, oh, yeah, like, I like some of that stuff, and then I kind of worked with it. So it was really cool having them there, and not only just showing us, like, what they knew, but kind of also giving it their input. That was really cool of them to do. So, when we're watching Team Tekken Go, first of all, I didn't know that they were going to put effects in there. Like, I was really excited for this episode. because I didn't really like, I felt like watching it like that, like how we did on like the crappy TV, um wasn't really like the full effect. So getting to watch it with like all the special effects on it, that was so awesome. Um Reality Pales' character, Douches Maximus, that just, I died. I died. Um and then on top of that, like when he says like, "Don't worry, brother, I've got this wench." Like that was hilarious. And then I can't remember who comes out, if it's Sue Skyden or Christy Pride, but somebody comes out and immediately attacks him, and he's like, "Ha ha ha ha! Oh, crap." Um, those are like my most favorite quotes, because Reality Pales, if you've noticed, is quite a character. He's quite entertaining to watch. So I definitely was laughing the whole time I was watching their fight. And especially when Suskaiden comes up and kills Christy Pride, and then it cuts to Ninja, and he's like, "Oh, that was dirty." Like, it got me laughing. I was just laughing. This whole episode, I was laughing. Actually, well, most of it. Most of it. I thought Ninja's character was creepy, obscure, and funny. They did cut out a part where, he does, in his bio video, he does, do a little freestyle rap, and I love that he could do that. Um, and I'm sad they cut that out, because he did have a really cool, freestyle rap about his character, and I actually understood his character. His character is basically just like a mental mess. Like, obviously, that's why he's psychotic and crazy and babbles and doesn't make any sense. I mean, does everybody in life make sense? No. This guy goes crazy because he got overcharged on a McChicken. And I think that's hilarious. And I get it, but that's just maybe because got a little psychosis in my head, and I don't make sense. But I thought it was good. It was original. But if they didn't get it, then they didn't get it. But I have to say, Achilles Might, he looks pretty good with eyeliner on. Am I right? Am I right? So yeah, I loved working with Diddy as my fighting partner. Because me and him, I think our personalities and the way we act complement each other. Also, he's like super tall and lanky, and I'm like really short and stubby. So I think just in general, just watching us fight together was already just kind of like a visual comedy sketch. Reading through my notes. Oh, so Achilles' power shot on Achilles' special move when he did that on Diddy, and Diddy falling back and the special effects and everything, that scene just looked awesome. Just the way that right when Achilles hits Diddy and Diddy flies back, and with the fire and everything, I was like, holy crap. Like, I actually like said that out loud, because it looked so good. So props to Achilles and Diddy for really, really polishing their choreography there. Also, Diddy's Dirty Dancing combo looked awesome with the special effects and everything, and the way that Achilles was reacting to them. I thought that looked really, really good too. So overall, I think our team did an amazing, amazing job with everything, with the whole challenge. So after we performed, and after we got to kind of see, the other team perform, I was really confident in our team. I was like, oh, like, we got this. Like, don't even worry. And then when they were like, oh, Team Street Fighter wins, I'm like, yay! Like, you see me jumping up and down. Because I was really excited about it. Like, this is what I want to do in the industry, and, Brent Goki said we did a great job, and I'm, like, in love with Brent Goki, so it was really awesome for him to compliment us like that we did a great job. Okay, so on to Elimination. When we go into Elimination, I'm a little bit worried about Ninja, because I understood his character and nobody else did. And just if you've like lived with Ninja, like how we have in the loft, that's just kind of how he is. Like, even when I play COD with him, like, I don't know, like every other day, and like he'll just randomly go off and talk about whatever. And I understand what he's saying. It's totally random, But, like, that's just how he is. So that's how his character was. But I was just worried because, the panel, obviously, they don't see us in the house. They don't really know who Ninja is. And the whole point of the challenge was to, like, be creative and make this character. And if they don't understand it, then obviously, it's going to look not, not as polished and not as strong of a character as everybody else has. My God, when Seth Killian's like, Zeus Gaiden, you were my favorite, and then he's like, you really have a passion for fighting games? I was just like, oh my God. Like, her passion is for fighting games because that's the only type of game she's really ever played, and on top of that, her passion is not for fighting games. It's not for games at all. She has a passion for acting. Like, that's how she got on the show, was like her agency in New York got her to be on the show. She put that on her YouTube channel. You can go check it out. It's on her YouTube channel in her channel comments. Her passion is acting, so obviously she's gonna do an awesome, phenomenal job, which I agree. Suskainen did a great job, but that is because she has a passion for acting, for being on stage, for being a performer. So congrats to you for showing everybody that you really are just a freaking actor. And then in my notes, I just did the flash because I'm just like, it hurts my brain just thinking about how Seth Killian was like, you have a passion for fighting games. Like, I just wanted to, like, freaking facepalm myself. Okay. So, when they started talking about J-Tight and how he, focused on the fighting and not really the characters, I kind of agree. J-Tight was a little bit too concerned about the fighting and not enough about the backstory. And like I said, I think that, the story and the characters are really the most important thing in any game. But I, at the same time, I understand where J-Tight is coming from. It's a fighting game. Obviously, you want to have cool, awesome-looking fighting moves. But the whole point of this challenge was to see how creative you can be. And unfortunately, Zeus Gaiden and Chrissy, I think they had a really, really great backstory. It was very creative. But J-Tight and Reality Pales, their side of the story really was lacking a little bit. And that was the whole point of the challenge. Okay, so when they're talking like back and forth between J-Tight and Ninja, I had a feeling, obviously, that one of them was going to go home because I didn't call out anybody else. And I didn't really see anybody else really look like weak during the challenge. So when they were like, J-Tight, I'm sorry, your game ends here, my stomach dropped because, we're at this point, we're at 8 people now, and everyone's gotten really close, and J-Tight really does have a passion for the industry. I mean, you heard him say it in his first episode. He eats, poops, lives, sleeps PlayStation. I mean, he has a passion. He's always on PSN. And it sucked to see yet another person go who really could have done something great for the industry. But at the same time, I was happy because Ninja got to stay, and Ninja's one of my homeboys. You know what I'm saying? But again with the surprise double elimination, and Ninja goes home, and I was definitely bawling. I was crying almost as much as when I cry when I watch The Notebook. It was really, really sad. I mean, I was already tearing up when J-Tight left, and then, my brain was like, I can't believe this is happening, and then when they're like, Ninja, your game ends here, that's when my brain was like, and then The Notebook, tears were coming out. But it really shows their character by what they both say when they leave. They both basically say, J-Tight is just so grateful to have been able to have that opportunity. And, Ninja says that, he'll never stop trying. And that really shows that their character, that they're really great people. And I'm really glad that I got to meet them. And I still talk to them, very, very often. Not daily, but, a couple times a week. And I'm really glad that I got to meet them. Achilles says, we're getting to the point where the judges, when they smell blood, they're going to go after it. When they sense any kind of weakness, they're going to go after you. And obviously that's true. I mean, there was 2 surprise double eliminations, and at this point, I'm like, I really need to step it up. I haven't ever been called out for, shining through, and I feel like at this point I'm kind of coasting along a little bit. When they showed the preview for the next episode, God of War, woo, and we get to go to the beach, yeah. You can also see me try to attempt to wear this really stupid looking toga out of a sheet. But yeah, next episode should be a good one. You should watch it. It's gonna be real good. Just gonna have to sit here for a second, cause stop it. Better quit it. Okay, there it is. Anyways, this video was ridiculously long, but guess what, Brent Goki and Achilles? I win the challenge. So guess what? Your guys' game ends here. I'm just kidding. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. It's QuadraMonster. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my videos. And, you guys asked for it, so I'm gonna try to do some random video of, like, me singing or dancing or doing something stupid. So you guys can be entertained until you have to wait for the next episode next week. So tune in, and hopefully I'll get that interview with Egoraptor up. Everybody have a great week, and ciao!